Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, where we get to things that we didn't get to in the show. Is that how he says it?
Yeah, and on days like this, the three things we did, the three breaks that we did for
That's right.
the show.
We did two newses and we did a rock report. So, we're doing our part.
We are. We're killing it.
Okay, so these are a couple of stories that I think are interesting. First one I want to talk about is, Gavin, have you ever opened a bag of chips and you were like, are you kidding me?
Disappointed.
Yeah. Like, I understand they have to add air to the chip bag because you don't want it to break.
Sure.
The chips
Is
to
that
break.
the science? Okay, so the chips don't break. Okay, yes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know why. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to understand the science of chips
That's
and
just what I'm
bags.
assuming. But anyways, I have opened a few bags and I thought there are maybe 3 chips in this bag.
Yeah, because
it's ridiculous.
your eyes see the size of the bag and then the amount of chips in that bag. And you're like, that is a bad ratio.
I've
And
even gotten to where I feel them sometimes to see which has the higher amount of chips inside the bag. But good news is that Lay's has announced that they are adding 20% more chips to their bags. 20%,
That's
okay?
pretty good.
Because they were caught with the facts that their 13-ounce bags went down to 11. And their 12 went down to 11. So they got caught, okay? So we have facts. We know that you are skimping out. So they're doing what they're calling bonus bags. And it looks like it's just going to be for the jumbo size bags. So the regular chip bags aren't going to change. Yep,
Okay.
still disappointing.
But if you are going to deliver jumbo, I do want jumbo.
Right.
So I understand improving the jumbo if you're going to try and deliver on that.
Right, exactly. So we're only going to see it in the jumbo size bags. And mainly they mentioned Tostitos, Ruffles, and Doritos. And I think it's tied to the whole football season because those are the chips that you see at football parties. And so they're like, yeah, it's the jumbo bag. We'll give you 20% more. Now, they did also say that the variety packs, ones that come in the box, the little bitty bags, those are going to go from 16 bags to 18 bags.
Okay, I like that. If it stays the same price. I'm curious on their end if
that's a good
if
question.
they're going to tell us that they're going to do that. We're like, yeah, but then if they raise it a couple dollars, what's the point?
That's a good point.
But congrats to them.
Yeah, I think Now, I'm not a big fan of Pringles chips.
Oh, really?
I don't know what their ratio is.
I think that those are generally well stacked because you have the can. And then it's generally all the way up to the tippity top, so there's usually not a disappointment when you open
good to know
a can of Pringles.
Thank you for being the Pringles expert.
Yeah,
in this
that's what I'm here for. Pringles are one of my favorite chips because of the shape is very fun to eat, which I don't know how often you think of the shape of your food.
Yeah,
but when
you do like duck lips.
Put one of those in and you kind of click it with your tongue and it just breaks easily. The only problem is I can only get my hand in about a hand length. And I go in steps. It's the easy plucking, the tweezer plucking once I can only fit a couple fingers, and then you get to can tipping and pouring them out. And then that's disappointing because you have broken chips.
The crumbs.
You don't get. It's just not as satisfying.
I had no idea there were 3 levels.
That's just for fat hand guys. Fat-handed people are not built for Pringles.
If you had to choose one chip,
Ooh.
I don't care if it's Pringles, Lay's, whatever, what would you choose?
I would probably choose either Pringles, and I would go with sour cream and cheddar combo. That's my favorite one.
Okay.
And then if I'm not doing that, I do just like a corn chip that I have a dippable option for. That's my favorite. Like chips and queso, like I could survive on that. I maybe do survive on that.
Okay. If I had to choose, I would go with pickle for sure.
You do like your
pickle.
But
Lay's.
Yeah.
I need to specify.
I've had
Lay's pickle chips.
Having had multiple pickle chips, there's a big difference, and Lay's delivers.
Now, maybe just a notch down from that one, I would go with the plain Golden Flake
Really?
chips.
I've never understood loving those for some reason. I just don't care for. I don't care for them.
They're less greasy.
They are. They definitely are.
I love them. Now, kettle chips, I am not a fan of. Too much crunch.
No,
they hurt the roof of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite, one of my other favorite chips, and this is it doesn't make sense to me because I'm not a healthy human being overall. I don't lean into healthy food habits.
Yeah,
but I love baked Lay's because it eliminates a little. It eliminates a little bit of that greasy factor.
But I'm telling you what. They tell you don't eat a lot of those.
I have heard
because
that.
It'll give you a 20-minute countdown. It's like the it's like the no sugar gummy
bears
that
will just wreck your tummy.
Yep. And that's what
tummy?
I'm told. I'm told that
I
there's
haven't heard
something
that.
in the baked chips that is not good for. It'll give you a tender tummy.
To me, it's always tough because the world of food, like let's say you have Coke. They're like, oh, Coke with 150 calories, grams of sugar, all that. Well, if you don't like that, here's the Coke Zero Sugar, no calories, no sugar. Yep. What a dub. What a win. But then you look at a lot of other stuff and the negative impacts.
It has arsenic and cancer.
Aspartame and all these things. It's the aspartame. Like it's stuff like that.
But then you see the articles of the old people that are like in their 90s and they're drinking Diet a Mountain Coke. Dew a day.
Those, yeah.
Or maybe more.
Yeah.
A case of Mountain Dew followed with a Snickers bar. And you're like, come on.
I know that
also,
stuff.
look at the Rolling Stones. These guys were like doing hard drugs, drinking and smoking like a chimney. And they're all... in their late 70s?
I can't tell if they just got lucky, per se, or if they just were so built to, their bodies almost oddly enough were built to withstand the crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand that.
I don't know. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, is there something that, like a small hill you would die on?
Oh, a small hill?
Like a topic of something where no matter what people say, you're still going to stand strong on that hill.
Oh, I can't think of one. I know that there are things that I always get a little bit mad at. I feel like I get judgmental when it comes to dieting in a weird way. So like since he's not here, with an absolute passion, I hate how Wally does food. And the way that he diets and the way that he
is what?
The way that he eats just nothing. When he goes throughout his day and he's like, I might just have this for breakfast.
It's not
have this for
bulimia,
dinner.
it's anorexia.
Yeah, he literally just chooses not to eat and then he's happy for the weight loss. And I am happy for him. Mm-hmm. But it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And maybe kind of similar to the Rolling Stones who, did all this hard stuff, but then they're still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
I'm like, he is good and he's alive and he's kicking. Mm-hmm. I just don't like that he does that.
But he does black out when he plays pickleball.
I know.
And he has horrible kidneys, has constant kidney stones.
He just believes that I feel like if I could create a diet for him, I could keep him healthy, I could keep him well fed, but instead he just wants to eat like one pudding cup and then
chocolate pudding cup.
Chocolate pudding. And Or he'll only have his coffee from Dunkin' for the entirety of his
meal.
Breakfast, his lunch. And I think it's awful. I'll die on that hill that
and it is.
There's a right way to diet.
Yes, and he's not doing it. No. But I will say that sadly it works for him because when you're going on a diet, they tell you need to eat the vegetables, you need to eat the fruits.
I don't even believe in that.
I know. While he'll do okay with fruits, vegetables are out of the question.
He'll never.
When it comes to people like him that are so picky with their food, the only way I can see those type of people dieting is just eating what you want and exercising a lot. Or if you're not going to exercise, you just don't eat. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be what he's doing.
He goes down the don't eat. I believe in, like, there's a number of calories you can eat in a day. And if you balance that with good exercise and like decent sleep, then your body's going to respond well to it.
For sure.
But I don't control everyone. So
okay, that's your hill to die on.
That'll be mine.
I'll tell you what my hill to die on is, and I will
loud cars.
Yes, I will get in a soapbox about it. You are not cool, sir, with your loud mufflers on your 1995 Honda Civic. No girl in her right mind is thinking, "Ooh, he's a cutie patootie," when he's going down the road going. Like, it is so annoying.
What if it's a motorcycle?
That's different
Do you
to
think
me.
that if it's a loud motorcycle?
I guess the difference is motorcycles are meant to be loud. I don't think there's a way to make them. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to make them
silent motorcycle.
Yeah.
There's not a quiet cycle.
But that is not the case for cars.
No.
If they are
Not Honda
loud, it's
Civics.
because you purposefully made them loud
just
and you
wanted
need
a muffler.
attention.
Yeah.
Like you're so desperate
Sure.
and so what's the word?
You're so
Inconsiderate.
Yeah.
And you are an empty vase. You need people to look at you and see, wow, you are someone. You are amazing. Look at that loud muffler. You're so cool. It
irritates
it
you.
makes me livid.
Yeah. I think that we're all allowed to like things that we think are cool, even if other people don't think that those things are cool.
But keep it in your spot.
But I
keep
think,
it
yes,
in your zone.
Yeah, if
don't make it
something
everyone else's problem.
that truly impacts the rest of society,
and
then,
it impacts me.
Yeah, it directly impacts Betty.
Okay, so I found this article of people that are stating the small hills that they are willing to die on. And I want to see if you agree with this. One of them, someone said, texting should only be used for short one-sentence messages, not elaborate combos.
I
would disagree with that. I'd say it's okay.
I have fun sometimes. So like if I have a buddy that I maybe only end up seeing once, like busy schedule with a baby and all this stuff.
Yeah.
If we sit there and we want to talk, let's say sports, sometimes I'll send 5 or 6 different thoughts at him, and then he'll respond with one big thought or one short message.
Yeah.
Texting a lot, that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I wouldn't say that's a hill for me to die on.
No.
Another one, this one is a tough one for me. Dogs belong on furniture and beds. We owe them comfort.
Oh, what?
Now listen.
Oh, that's what they would die on?
Yeah. So here, and I know
dogs.
Okay.
Or are you going to broaden this to all animal, like cats and dogs?
No, these people are saying dogs. Now I get it from both sides. I have 2 cats, so I don't have dogs. And some people might say that's disgusting having cats on the bed. Maybe so. I do it. But when it comes to dogs, I can see how that would be disgusting because dogs go outside.
Yeah.
They like to roll in things.
They do.
And they lick everything.
They do lick. Well, so do cats. Oh, you mean just like external things?
Yes.
Yes. They do lick other things.
They eat everything.
They do. I have taken. There's this one back alley that I'll take the dogs on a walk through. And one time I was going with Jasper and there's a trash can and something on the ground next to the trash can. And I was responding to a phone call and I had Jasper on the leash. And then I just saw him like moving over and then he just started eating whatever it was. It looked like somebody threw out like a little, chicken something or another. And that was tough. We do let our dogs on all the furniture. And they do sleep in the bed with us, even though we really tried to train that out of them.
Even with Bennett here, y'all still let him sleep
better.
in bed?
The struggle was that Jasper would wake up in the middle of the night and want to eat or want to do something. But nowadays, ever since we had Bennett, everyone just sleeps through the night. The only one who doesn't sleep through the night these days is Bennett. Jasper improved.
Really?
He did. He got a lot better. I'll give him all the kudos there. But,
so even when you get up to like give him a diaper change or feed him a bottle, Jasper will just watch you. And
they might follow, but they'll get back in bed and be.
So Bennett's
totally
wearing everybody
good.
out.
Yeah, Bennett is exhausting. But I will say, if I could choose, if I literally could snap the reality of my dogs, I would prefer them not to be on my couches and my bed because there's a lot of dog hair.
Yeah, I don't know if their mouths bother me as much as it would be their paws because going outside, they step in a lot of stuff. But I guess you could say the same about cats.
Yeah, you step in their litter box.
But the thing is that I clean that litter box every day.
I don't clean my backyard per se, but whenever it's muddy or bad outside, I wipe the dog's paws off, and at night we take baby wipes and we wipe their paws just to get off like excess dirt and excess stuff.
Interesting.
So that's a strategy. Yeah. And a lot of people try to take that into account, but sometimes you don't catch everything. I've found just like leaves in my bed before that were just in the crinkles of their paws.
No, I get that.
A little gross.
What about this one? People who correct grammar on the internet are often more annoying than those who make the mistakes.
Yeah.
For sure.
If it's a really outrageously typed mistake, written sentence,
Yeah.
I might be like, whoa, what's going on there?
But if they're misusing two and two or
there
and there, I'm like, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I totally get that. Another one, which I don't understand why people do this. Don't use your speakers on public transit, headphones only. Why would anyone do that? Like, let's say you have someone that you're talking to on the phone on speaker and you're out in public. Now, I don't get why I wouldn't do that because I don't want people hearing my conversations.
No, I wouldn't.
But I
either.
love it when other people do because then I like to listen in because I'm
Do you
nosy.
really? You know,
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what
eavesdropping.
people's situations are. But I also don't get it why you would do that because to me it's very loud. Like for example, when we are going through calls on topics that we do on the air, people will call. Typically, 95% of the time they're on speaker, and it's someone in the background. You can hear them going, and then but in the background it's like, it's like, oh, good grief. So why would you want to talk to someone on speaker when they can't really hear you?
Yeah, that's
just wear headphones.
Yeah, there's a little peep for if you are a potty and you do also call the show here and there. If you call and you're in the car and it's gonna blow up like that I will shoot you down. Or we'll ask you to get it off.
I can't hear you.
We do not like to. We do not end up taking a lot of bad speaker phone calls.
Yeah, because sometimes
it's hard.
you drop out. You know, like for some reason when it comes to being on speaker, it seems like the calls drop out easier for some reason.
But most people who are driving in, if you're driving and calling, there are. I do understand not everyone can just bring that phone up to their
for sure.
head.
Yeah.
Be safe.
And then finally, nobody should ever blow their nose in public, go to the bathroom, or anywhere else out of earshot.
I mean, like
to some degree, I would say yes.
Oh,
I would
really?
say I'd rather you blow your nose than sit there the whole time making those disgusting phlegm noises. I mean, that makes me want to throw up. So blow your nose if you have to in public, but
if you can.
If you can, go to the bathroom, But when it comes to Wally, please,
if it's
just
gonna
blow
be
your nose. Don't sit there.
A lot, like if you have if it's one of those like quick blow it out, move on. But if it's one of those ones where you're sick, I feel bad. I do feel bad if you're sick and you have to constantly be blowing your nose. Then you have to deal with it.
I've thought about that. Like, let's say at some point I do get married, and he has a cold. I will
You're
go.
gonna have to live
I will
with
go
that.
insane.
Yeah,
I will have to sleep in separate rooms
You think so?
I won't. I won't be able. I'll go to the couch. Like I'll do it, but I think I'd rather do the couch than
deal with
put
that.
up with him sniffing and snotting.
We always.
It drives me insane.
I'd get like these whooping coughs, and then I would lay there in bed, like dying.
Oh, gosh,
and I always thought,
no.
I neither of us usually ever moved to a different room, and I think we probably should have. Haley's like, oh no, I slept through it. I'm like, I don't feel like you did. I can't. I cannot believe that you
would
would
drive
have.
me crazy. Okay, what have you got?
Okay, I get to unload on a sports-related story. So this is Angel Reese. She is a Chicago Sky WNBA player. She is a rookie, and then she's kind of in the news right now because she was on a stream where she was talking about her rent and her WNBA contract.
Okay.
And so we'll start with the fact that she was on this live and she talked about how she can't pay her bills with her WNBA salary. Her sentence was like my WNBA contract doesn't even pay for my bills, doesn't pay for my rent.
Now, I find that hard to believe, but I am not a sports person, but I'm just judging it based off the ridiculous amount of money that athletes seem to make in America.
Okay, so I've got tabs open to do like a breakdown of her contract, WNBA contract, NBA contracts, Chicago apartment rents, and all of these things.
Okay.
So we'll start with this. We'll start with the fact that the Angel Reese, who is a rookie in the WNBA, is making $74,000 a year. That is her actual basketball contract, which
definitely on the low end.
That is a minute end of sports contracts, and almost seems more in line with just an everyday person's salary at that point. And with that, she also pays rent, which is let's see here. So she pays $8,000 a month for her apartment.
What?
$8,000 a month over the course of a whole year is $96,000.
Where is she living?
In Chicago. So Chicago is a pricier place to live.
$8,000 for rent a month?
Yeah, I've got let me break all this down. So that's her cost. So she makes $74,000 a year. The average cost of rent for an apartment in Chicago right now is about $2,000. So she is on the high end of the average.
Quadruple.
Now, most, NBA. Okay, so let's see here. So I did the math on this. A regular contract for a WNBA rookie is around $76,000 a year. The regular contract for a NBA rookie, so men's basketball, makes about $2 to $12 million a year.
A big difference.
The WNBA does not make money. The NBA pays for the WNBA to exist.
Oh,
so it's all about ticket revenue, ad revenue, all these things.
Yeah.
So Angel Reese doesn't even make with her WNBA contract, doesn't make the amount of money necessary to even cover rent in Chicago. She chooses that $8,000 a month place, which I looked up. 3 bedrooms, pretty nice amenities, maybe a pool, all these things. So it's a nice way to live. Angel Reese does make about $2 million a year through endorsements. So she's not, based on the money she's making, she's not living beyond her means. She's not sitting there.
She's able to do it because of the endorsements, but not because of her contract.
Of her WNBA contract. So a lot of people were getting upset with her for going on this live and saying, oh, my contract isn't even, I pay $8,000 a month in rent. So like people were getting up in arms over the fact that she was complaining about the WNBA contract, but she does make money through other revenue sources.
So is she saying why did she say that though? Is she saying that she thinks she needs to make more money?
She was being critical of the fact that the WNBA doesn't pay them more money, but the WNBA doesn't make money.
You're a sports person. Why is that? Like, do guys just not care to watch women playing basketball?
Unfortunately, no. And unfortunately, the amount of money that other companies pay for ads with the WNBA is going to be so much smaller than ad revenue through the NBA.
Because there's less viewership.
A lot less viewership. So you look at the stadiums and you look at the people who are filling seats, the amount of attendance for a WNBA game over the course of a year is going to be so much smaller than an NBA crowd. There are less WNBA games. The season is a lot shorter. There's less teams overall. So the infrastructure of the NBA has been built up for almost 100 years now, and the WNBA less so. But also they just haven't been able to get it off the ground to even come close to sniffing NBA success.
Okay. Well, then I don't think that she can complain all she wants about how it's not fair.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, just because you were born a woman and your passion is basketball, but it can't pay the bills. But if you were born a guy, you could have done it. Like, I get it. That's unfair.
Yeah, that's
hard. But we don't live in a fair world either. And while you can sit and complain about it as much as you want, it's probably not going to look good on you. It's probably not going to change anything, and it's probably not going to make people want to watch you more.
And you're still living a cool life at the same time.
You're living in a place that costs $8,000 a month.
And it's tough because, general NBA athletes live in, penthouses.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure
multi-million-dollar
there's a part
homes.
of it that I'm sure has to do with security, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
But I would think there would be still an option for something cheaper than $8,000. I would hate to think that much money is going towards rent and I never get that back.
Yeah. No,
that would make
tough.
me sick.
Yeah, I think that for them, $74,000 a year in Chicago, mind you, like we make what we make here in Nashville, Tennessee, and it allows us to live good lives, but it's not like we're not living in, massive homes or anything like that here in Nashville. Chicago is more expensive than Nashville, so it does require a certain number to live. If you make $74,000 a year, I know friends who live out in Chicago that make that or a little less than that and have to live in, tiny, studio apartments that are not necessarily fun places to just live in.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't understand that you want them to, make livable wages, but at the same time, she does have all these other sources of income because she's built up a good image, and other companies want to use her for advertising. Mm-hmm. And so she is able to make all this money, $1.8 million. And it's a good life, but it's not necessarily generational wealth like other men's sports athletes make generational money. You go and you make, $50 million in a year. That can set you up, your kids up. That can set up all these people forever. $74,000 a year is just money to live.
Right. That's keeping, and that's what's sad about our economy.
Yes.
It's just getting too expensive for sure. And how old is she?
Oh man, she's a rookie. So let's see. She should only
She's got to be 22?
Angel Reese, because they have to play. Yeah, she is 22. So she is pretty young.
Yeah.
And I don't know the average length of a career in the WNBA, and if their salaries increase substantially. I don't think they increase too substantially. I think I looked up and saw that maybe it goes up, $5,000 or $6,000 a year. So it's not necessarily a place that you go play and then have money to take care of yourself for forever.
Right. Okay. Well, let's do birthdays. Michael, he wants to give a shout out to his daughter, Favor. Her name is Favor.
Her Favor,
Favor. Favor.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. She's turning 13 today. She said she's high energy, full of joy, and a typical 7th grade girl. She always keeps me on my toes. Oh, well, happy birthday,
Toesies.
Favor. Then we've got a birthday shout out. This one is from let's see, Josh and Lori, who want to wish their son Abel a happy birthday.
We've got some nice names today.
Right? Cain was the one that killed his brother.
Cain
right?
was, Abel died.
was the one that died. Okay.
Sorry, bud.
I'm just making sure you weren't named after a murderer. Okay, Abel, he turned 9 yesterday. Happy belated birthday. Said he loves all things outdoors, hunting, fishing, and catching frogs. He just won the frog jump at our local fall festival.
way.
He had the frog that could jump the farthest distance.
What a dog.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I would never have thought, I've never seen something like that, but I think that's
I wish I could say that. I wish
really
I had
fun.
an award that
I'd
said.
go watch that.
Oh, I would too, for sure. I'd be in on that. Abel, way to go. Keep it up. All right, we've got a question. This question is from Ashley. She said, what was the last weird thing that made you cry?
I think it's hard because it's not necessarily outright weird, and there are people who will understand it.
Okay.
But I was watching TikTok the other day, and they hit you with that sad little music under that musical bed, and it was a video where it was like, show your baby now. It was like a 3-month-old, 4-month-old, and show your baby when they first brought you, or when you first brought them home. And so they go from like that baby that's he's got his mouth open and eyes are really, and then it flashes back to that. That version of your baby that's just
brand new.
Eyes aren't even really opening. They're just kind of like existing. They can't really move.
Squirmy.
And I was just like, I kind of was watching that, and I was like holding Bennett. I just sat there and I was like, he's growing up. And I do. I'm hip with that here and there where I'm like, I've tried my best to appreciate each and every day and the version of him each and every day, because I think he's so cute right now. And I think he'll be cute. I think he'll be awesome when he's 5 or 6 years old and he's running around doing things and breaking my possessions and whatnot. But I try my best to appreciate him every day and the blessing that he is. And then I still think back to whenever we brought him home, I was like, man, that's a time in life that'll never be quite anything like that when you bring your first baby home.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there, you're like, this is so cool. I also have no idea what I'm doing. And I could break him if I drop him.
Yeah.
Also, what does he need? How do I do this? But he was so little. And he's like, he couldn't do a single thing. Now he's, He's 9 weeks old. He just got his vaccinations, and he is very.
Did that make you cry?
No. He did it during our town hall meeting yesterday, so I ended up missing that, which was a little bit of a
Did
bummer.
Haley cry?
No, she said that he they poked him and he did the thing, and she just thought it was funny. Like we do whenever you hold him when he's a little hungry, and before he eats, you have to change him, and you put him on the table, and when you put him on the table to change him, he usually is like, and you put him down, and he goes, no! And every time I do it, he like shoots his arms out. I can't help laughing at him.
Can you tell what color hair he has?
So we do think that he's gonna be a redhead, kind of similar to me. He looks very much like me when I was his age. So. What is
I don't know.
He's going to be adorable. He's going to be a super handsome boy. I don't know what the uh-oh's for.
I don't know.
He's going to be cute. Okay, you, cry, random.
Okay, so I'll tell you the one that people will understand and then the one that's funny. The last thing that made me cry that you'll understand was it was on the news. It was on GMA because we have the TV playing in the studio. And it was a story about this I think he was 82, an 82-year-old man.
Was it yesterday? With the dog?
He was letting out his dog to go maybe for a walk. I guess they were going for a walk. But the man said that he blacked out and he fainted, and then he woke up and he was outside and he couldn't get up. He had broken his hip or had pulled his hip out of joint or something. And so he laid there for a while, and eventually he told his dog, he was like, you're gonna have to get help. And this dog ran a mile to get to a road and stood out in the road. And then this cop just happened to drive by, and he saw this random dog, and he tried to get the dog into the car, in his police car, but the dog wouldn't come. He kept like walking towards the driveway, like where he had come from. And so the policeman finally got what this dog was trying to do.
That really?
Follows the dog, and the dog leads him straight to his 82-year-old owner.
That's amazing.
And you can hear the audio, and that's what killed me.
Oh, did it get you?
Was the police officer, this old man is down on the ground. He's got his hip out of joint, and the dog is like wagging its tail and is glad that he's got help for his human. And the cop says, man, you got a good dog there. And you can hear the old man, and he's getting emotional, and he says,
oh my gosh, right now?
He says something like, yeah, she's my best friend. And it just pulled at me because already the senior citizens pull at my heart already, and so do animals. And when I think about him being an 82 and might be lonely, I mean, loneliness is an epidemic for older people.
Sure.
And for him to say that that's his best friend, and the dog went out and got him help. I can't. I honestly can't. It kills me. Okay, so you'll understand that one. Okay, now the one that won't make sense was either earlier this week or later last week. I don't remember. My mailbox wouldn't open, and I was just trying to. I was trying to get to church real fast, and I had my window rolled down, and I was trying to get the door down, and I didn't park close enough, and then that meant I was going to have to open my door, put my car in park, and I wouldn't say I cried, but I definitely teared up because I was just like, I'm over this.
Oh, dude.
Just open.
I'll get that. I get that every single day. That sounds sad. But like I 100% get when like this thing and then this thing and then this thing. When it like builds up, even if it's simple irritation.
Yes.
And you're just like, I want.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
So
no. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Keep crying.
Yeah. Okay. So Aftercast and podcast. So tomorrow, Gavin and I will both be out.
Yeah, I think so.
We're both taking the day off. Then we have the weekend. Then Monday, Wally is still out.
He'll be traveling.
Yes.
And we will both be out. No, are you coming in on Monday?
I guess I haven't figured that out.
Yeah, I'm going to take it off because that's the first day that Bennett's going to daycare. So it'll just be helpful for me to get Haley out the door and for me to pick him up.
Well, that's good to know because then we won't have a podcast and Aftercast on Monday.
Yes, nothing on Monday.
And then we're heading out to Houston for a work event on Tuesday, and we'll be gone Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday. Then Wally and Gavin will be back for the show on Friday, but I'm taking that day off.
Yes, you are, which is good, which is smart.
Yeah.
After a long week of travel.
Let me look at my calendar, Potties, so that you know when we're back at it. It looks like the 28th. October 28th.
That'll be the first time all three
be back in, but we won't have a podcast Aftercast until the 25th, but that'll just be Gavin and Wally alone.
Even the projection on stuff going on the rest of the year, like we have, whether it's us traveling, whether it's just Wally traveling, whether it's the holidays
or support drive,
there is like a very finite amount of weeks that we're doing regular shows for
it's that time of year.
The rest of the year. Like they're in essence are maybe 3 or 4 weeks more for the rest of the year that we are doing this normal thing, just because of how chaotic it is. And it's great. I'm in the Halloween spirit right now. Thanksgiving hits after that.
I just saw my first Christmas ad.
Dude, I was at Costco.
It's October 17th.
I was in Costco in September and I was seeing Santa hanging out. I'm like, dude, it is 95 degrees. Go home.
Insane.
So, yeah,
insane.
It's weird.
But I will say this. If you missed the Aftercast and the podcast and you hate to hear that we're going to be out, join our Facebook potty group because there we still are posting things. It's not podcast and Aftercast, but it's at least content and we keep you up on what's going on. And we have the link for that in the description of this Aftercast. So just click on that link and that'll take you straight there. But anyways, I think that's everything. So thanks so much for being a potty. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water, and with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.